What's the deal with counting calories versus making calories count? I love the way that sounds. I have an English degree and just the cadence of that sounds great. And there's a lot to fathom, a lot to unpack in this simple question. By the way, in case you're new here and don't know who I am Slick Nick, your personal keto bro. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, a personal trainer, nutritionist, nothing like that. Just some random guy who recently turned 40 and is truly reaching his goals as far as fat loss and downsizing my clothes, which is really what I want. Because when you have a size large shirt, but you're not a large frame, you only have to have the large to cover up your stomach, well then it makes you look sloppy and big. Well, now I'm down to medium. Little things like that. I'm reaching my goals. It's not coincidence. And it's not specifically just because I'm counting calories. That's part of the Venn diagram, yes. Counting calories, but for me personally, it's also keto. It's a matter of knowing that not all calories are created equal. In fact, hardly any calories are. I mean, if you ask me, I would say maybe MCT oil, heavy whipping cream, butter, certain things that are just pure fat, they have no protein or really carbs in them, maybe they sort of metabolize the same, but not every body, not every human being body will be able to process calories the same. But ultimately, when we look at them in a general sense, we can know that 200 calories and soda are empty calories. They provide no nutrition. There's no fat in there. There's no protein in there. It's just empty carbohydrates. Okay? But 200 calories of, let's say, pure fat, heavy whipping cream that I'd put in my oatmeal, well, that is actually satiating me. That's keeping me from getting hungrier later on. It's keeping me more full from that meal. And also, I need fat. We need fat for our brains. We need it for our bodies. We need it for fuel. Yes, we can use carbs for fuel, but we also need to be able to use fat for fuel, be able to use both, being flexible as far as that goes. So as far as making calories count, here's how it comes down to. I recognize at the end of the day, for me personally, with my body, if I'm not doing less than 1,800 calories a day, I'm not going to basically doing what I can to be able to cut fat for that day. And it's about day in, day out. It's about over the week, it's about over the month, it's about the overall picture, and I get that. Because technically, every night you go to bed, when you wake up from sleep, you're in a deficit. But it's not exactly that perfect. It's a matter of overall looking at that. So I recognize that I need to make my calories count, because we're looking at fat and protein. That's really what is going to keep you full. That's what's going to keep you from losing muscle mass as you're under the calories. The fat is going to help you feel satiated, meaning that you're not basically kind of buying you more time before you're going to be hungry again. And I get protein does the same thing. But for me personally, before I was keto and it was just about protein and carbs and I wasn't allowing enough fat in there, I was still eating too much. I was still eating too much protein because I didn't have enough fat to keep me feeling full. So for me, counting calories is part of it. But if you're not doing the right kind of calories, nutrient-dense calories in other words, it's not really helping you. I mean, it's just like any of those diet loss programs, like what, Weight Watchers. I remember as a kid having relatives that were in that, and I would think, so they can go to McDonald's and still lose weight. Well, in theory, yeah, you can. You can eat fast food and still lose weight, but you're gonna be hungry most of the day, starving yourself. We're even now for intermittent fasting, because I'm starting out with pure fat, like MCT oil or heavy cream in my coffee, things like that, it's keeping me from being hungry, and it's a sustainable concept. Not to mention, I'm not gonna be in a caloric deficit forever. Eventually, I'll lose the body fat that I'm working on cutting, and then I'll be increasing my calories, but adding even more protein and fat in place. Counting calories, it's important, but making those calories count, I would argue, is just important if you want to keep this thing sustainable. That's what I've learned. Your comments belong right here.